At this time, we'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is Thursday, July 14th, 2022, and this is a meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission for the City of West Hollywood. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land upon which we gather is currently known as the City of West Hollywood, and it is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino Tongva and the Gabrielino Kizh peoples. And Commissioner Martz, would you like to lead us in the pledge? Yes, I would. Never done that before? Oh, it moved. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. All right, Mr. Secretary, can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Ayers?
Oh, Mrs. Secretary. Miss Secretary. Switch. Yeah.
Commissioner Kirby is absent for tonight. Commissioner Maggio? Present. Commissioner Montemayor? Here. Commissioner Topchin?
Here.
Commissioner Wright? Present. Chair Martz?
Here. Thank you very much. We have a quorum. All right. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda for this evening?
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Ayers?
Aye.
Commissioner Maggio?
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor?
Aye.
Commissioner Topchin?
Aye.
Commissioner Wright? Aye. Chair Martz?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Moving right along to the approval of the minutes from our last meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review that? Any changes, corrections, comments?
Chair Martz, I just want to note that I was absent the last meeting. I will not be voting on it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, and a roll call, please.
Commissioner Ayers? Commissioner Maggio?
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor?
Aye.
Commissioner Wright? And Chair Martz?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right. Do we have any speakers for this evening?
No public speakers as of now.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. We will move right along. Manager's report. Mr. Holub. Hello.
Hello, Chair. Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Jonathan Holub, Rent Stabilization Manager. First of all, I'd like to welcome Commissioner Wright. Pleasure to meet you in person, and I and the staff look forward to working with you during your tenure on the Commission. So welcome. Also like to thank Commissioner Copeland for her service. She said very kind things about me and staff when she resigned, and I just wanted to express my appreciation for her service, and I'm certainly pleased to know that she'll be continuing on with the Planning Commission. As far as the look ahead, we were going to have an appeal tonight, but it got withdrawn at the last minute, so we don't have one now. The main item of business tonight will be the reorganization of the chair and vice chair, so our wonderful city clerk will be joining us to assist in that process. And then the new chair will appoint the liaisons to the other commissions and advisory boards. Next meeting, we have an appeal. Actually, we have appeals for the next 3 meetings. And then the next scheduled discussion item will be at the end of August. In addition to the announcement of the interest rate on security deposits based on the new formula that the Commission passed last year, there will also be a discussion of, at the very least, Regulation 60089. You may recall I gave a presentation on that a few months ago. The Commission asked that staff return with some suggestions for amendments to that regulation. I also may have some other regulations to present to you at that time, and possibly some amendments to the RSO. If not, we've got the rest of the year to work on that, but I'll do my best to get it to you as quickly as possible. I've been reporting on eviction case rates. During the last month, BetSetic reported 13 new cases open with the Tenant Defense Program. 10 of those cases were opened between June 13th and the 26th, with the remaining 3 open in the subsequent 2 weeks. Hopefully that represents a downward trend after the anticipated spike that followed the end of statewide protections. I'll continue to report that information to the Commission, but for anyone who's watching that isn't aware, If you are a tenant in the city of West Hollywood facing eviction, Betzetic Legal Services will provide eviction defense free of charge in most circumstances. Betzetic can be reached at 323-549-5841 or WehoHousingDefense@betzetic.org. And I will give the division's number and email if you didn't catch that. Also, everything is on the city's website at www.weho.org. Speaking of tenant protections, although statewide protections are no longer in place, the county's tenant protections resolution is still applicable to West Hollywood tenants. The county resolution places limitation on the grounds for eviction through December 31st, 2022, including no-fault evictions such as Ellis and owner occupancy evictions, except in some limited circumstances. The resolution also continues to protect against evictions for nuisance or unauthorized occupants or pets whose presence is necessitated by or related to the COVID-19 emergency. As of June 1st, a tenant may no longer refuse to allow an otherwise lawful entry by the landlord. And in addition, as of July 1st, tenants at or below 80% of the area median income may self-certify an inability to pay rent due to COVID-19 financial hardship. Just a couple of important notes. Again, all of these protections are set to expire December 31st. And also, these are just affirmative defenses. If a tenant doesn't pay rent, and even if they self-certify, that does not prevent a landlord from filing an eviction case. And information regarding the self-certification process can be obtained by clicking City Government at the landing page at WehoTV.org and then selecting Rent Stabilization. All the information about self-certification, including the form to do so, is there. I'd also like to add that the Disabilities Advisory Board has opened nominations for its annual Disability Service Awards. Members of the West Hollywood community are encouraged to nominate in the categories of individuals, businesses, the media, and nonprofit organizations for recognition of work with people living with disabilities, including accessibility issues, attention to the Americans with Disabilities Act requirements, or advocacy. Current or previous staff are not eligible to be nominated, and no city advisory board member or commissioner who is serving or has served within the prior year can be nominated. For more information, visit weho.org and type Disability Service Awards into the search bar. For more information about anything that I've discussed, or if you have any questions or anyone watching has any questions, Rent Stabilization Division staff can be reached at 323-848-6450 or RSD, as in Rent Stabilization Division, at weho.org. Thank you, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much for that report. Commissioners, questions?
For Jonathan. Has the rent stabilization staff been going out to various commissions to make reports in the last few months? I'm curious because if you are, I want to know what you're reporting on, because obviously we're going to have a liaison that will take that job, and I wonder what you're reporting on.
Right, actually on Tuesday, I think it was, I gave a report to the Human Services Commission.
Right.
I've also appeared in front of the Senior Advisory Board and the Disabilities Advisory Board over the last few months. So I have been going out and giving reports to those commissions.
What are you reporting on? Just our particular updates?
The reports have consisted of updates to the Rent Stabilization Ordinance, the regulations, information about the expenditures made in West Hollywood in the Housing is Key program, general information about the Ellis Act, because that's something that people have a lot of questions about, disability rights for people with disabilities who under the Rent Stabilization Ordinance. That's I think pretty much everything I discussed, at least earlier this week. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The other question I had is it possible to postpone our elections of chair and vice chair till Commissioner Kirby is present?
We're required to have this election today. I believe the clerk, Melissa, is available, and there she is.
Hi, good evening, Chair.
Hello.
Vice Chair. Oh, Vice Chair isn't here, and Commissioners. if someone would like to entertain a motion to move the election of the chair and vice chair to the next meeting, then that would be at the commission's discretion. And I would just come next month.
Well,
to
then
see how-
I'd like to make a motion to move the election of chair and vice chair to our next meeting, which I think is that the 28th, Jonathan?
Yes.
That's right. That's the 28th.
I'll second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Ayers, Commissioner Maggio,
Aye.
Commissioner Montemayor,
Aye.
Commissioner Topshin, Commissioner Wright, and Chair Martz.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Clerk, for being here, and we'll see you next time. Okay, we will have a very short meeting tonight, so thank you all for being here. Thank you for staff for putting all of these pieces up and all that good stuff. So we will move right along. Any other questions for Mr. Holub? Seeing none, we will scurry right along. All right, that was the manager's report. Commissioner comments. Who would like to make a comment, if any?
Are we doing liaisons? Am I behind here? Commission liaison appointments?
Oh, let's see where we're at.
Yeah, I have B for commission liaison appointments to other commissions and advisory boards.
That's on new business.
All right.
So we're on commission comments number 8. We'll skip the appeal because we have none, then we'll do new business, skipping A, which is the election, and moving to B. So that'll be coming up next. Commissioner comments? Yes.
Thank you. This is just a technical issue, but anyone watching this commission meeting from home may be seeing maybe only 5 of the 6 people present. To my far right is our newest commissioner, Zakia Wright, and the lighting is such that she virtually disappears. And I believe that the commissioners who are darker skinned should have the same visibility as the people who are lighter skinned. So if there's anything our technical crew here at the city can do to remedy that, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for that comment, and that was
Chair,
on my list. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just, since I was absent at the last meeting, I want to formally welcome Commissioner Wright on board to the commission. I'm sure you're going to be a great asset to this commission, and welcome and good luck.
Thank you.
I don't see any. All right, we will move right along. All right, now Commissioner Maggio, your favorite part. The liaison appointments, new business. We will table the election because that is moved to next meeting, and we are on 10B, commission liaison appointments to other commissions and advisory boards. So let's see here. Do we have a list of those? I don't have it in my packet, but are there any off the top of our heads before we go down the list?
Yes, I'd like to volunteer to be the liaison to public safety.
Everyone good with that? We will appoint you.
Chair
Yes.
Martz, sorry, you should have a list under your packet.
Underneath. Aha, wonderful. Thank you very much. Appreciate
problem.
that.
Do I have one? Is that the only one you have? Or?
Under your packet.
Roger, you provided only for the chair? Or do we
I
all
did.
have one?
My apologies, yes.
That's all right. I will read them out.
All right.
And then if you need repeats, just let me know. We have the Arts and Cultural Affairs Commission, Business License Commission, Disabilities Advisory Board, Historic Preservation Commission, Human Services Commission, LGBTQ+ Advisory Board, Planning Commission, Public Facilities Commission, Public Safety Commission, our own Rent Stabilization Commission, Russian Speaking Advisory Board, Senior Advisory Board, Social Justice Task Force, Transgender Advisory Board, Transportation Commission, and the Women's Advisory Board. So we have Commissioner Maggio appointed to the, you said, Public Safety Commission?
Right.
Wonderful.
If I may, I'd like, unless someone else would like, I already know what I want. I would like also transportation.
Okay.
I would like to also have human services.
All right.
And I'm sure since I am the senior here, it would only be appropriate that I go to senior advisory.
All right, knocking off a lot of the list.
Chair, can you say what night the Senior Advisory Board meeting is?
Staff, do we know? Senior Advisory Board night of the week.
I'll look it up right now.
Thank you.
I think it's on the fourth Wednesday, and it's in the afternoon, like 2 or 3 o'clock.
I think I could make it in the afternoon. Thank you.
All right. And fellow commissioners, of the 4 that Commissioner Maggio went through, any comments or anyone else interested in those? Or do we want to move along?
I've been attending the Senior Advisory Board meetings, but I'm happy to turn that over to you and explore some other
Maybe it's good
groups.
that you keep it because you're familiar already to them, and I think they like that. I've been there before for many years. At one time, we used to have, actually, we chose one individual to be liaison to all the commissions, and that was a lot of work. And then we split it up, and a few years ago, we divided it up. But why don't you keep senior? I think and maybe I could go with you occasionally.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right, we have a quick edit there. All right, fellow commissioners, anyone else have interest in attending these? As much as we'd like everyone to attend everyone, I think there's pretty loose requirements or desires, you know.
How about I will go for another one, gay and lesbian?
LGBTQ plus,
Yes.
the newly renamed?
Sure. Really new name. I apologize.
That's okay. All right,
I'd like to volunteer for the Public Facilities Commission.
wonderful. Public Facilities to Commissioner Wright. All right, anyone else? We have Arts and Cultural Affairs, Business License, Disabilities Advisory Board, Historic Preservation, Planning Commission is a big one, Russian Speaking Advisory Board, Social Justice Task Force, Transgender Advisory Board, and Women's Advisory Board.
I've been kind of the liaison with the Women's Advisory Board. I'll continue with that even though our meetings conflict, so it's usually not possible to attend those meetings, but I will stay in contact with city staff and other advisory board members. And I can also attend the Transgender Advisory Board.
Wonderful. Thank you for volunteering. Fellow commissioners?
What's left?
There's Planning Commission, Historic Preservation, Disabilities, Business License, Arts and Cultural Affairs, Social Justice, and Russian Speaking.
I thought Commissioner Maggio took planning, no?
He took Public Safety.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about you, Kaylin? You're so knowledgeable.
Why don't, what night of the week is the Business License Commission or Historic Preservation?
Business license only meets once a month. So, you know, your rent stabilization, planning, those commissions meet twice a month. So I think it's imperative that we do have a representative to planning. Z, would that be something that?
Yeah, I'll take planning.
Planning? Okay. Commissioner Wright to Planning Commission.
Historic Preservation Commission meets on the fourth Monday at 7 p.m.
I can do that one. Fourth Monday at 7 p.m. Historic Preservation, Commissioner Marks.
If anyone's interested in Social Justice Task Force, that meets on the fourth Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m.
And it looks like a business license meets on the second Tuesday of every month.
Okay. My work schedule doesn't let me do Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so those are out for me.
Could we find a way, maybe if we chose to share this work and substitute each other if we could not? I don't know how we would do it, but I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. For the commissioners that don't have any, do you have any interest in just being named to one without any requirements to go? And then
That's a good idea, I think.
working with other commissioners, letting us know if you'll be attending or something, just so we have coverage. I don't think in the past, every one of these boards and commissions and task forces have been covered, but as much as possible. You're free to say no.
No, it's hard to commit to it right now.
Okay.
It's hard to
With my
commit.
schedule.
I would be interested in public safety, but I cannot 100% commit if I'm, if the schedule will allow, if Commissioner Maggio is unable to attend, so then I would try.
Why don't you guys partner on that, and
All right.
I'll leave it to your own devices. You guys have been on the commission long enough to figure that out. Okay, so the ones we don't have coverage for are Arts and Cultural Affairs, Business License, Disabilities Advisory Board, Russian-Speaking Advisory Board, and the Social Justice Task Force.
Roger, if those dates and meetings could be in our next packet when those meetings are, I'm happy to go to all if I can, but I just need to know the specific dates and times.
Commissioners, do we want to table the remaining till next meeting? And we'll,
Commissioner Kirby's might,
Commissioner
I know in
Kirby's
the
will be
past
back.
he's attended
Yeah,
a few.
it would also just be helpful to see all the dates and times.
Right.
It's hard for me to commit right now without seeing my
understood.
calendar.
All right. Do we need a motion?
I don't think a motion is necessary.
Great. All right, so staff has those. I have written down if we didn't get those. Next meeting, the plan is the schedule will be provided to us, and Commissioner Kirby's will be back, and we'll go through the remaining and adjust as needed. Sound good? Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Okay. That is done. That is done. Okay. Items from staff.
No further items from staff.
Okay, wonderful. Any public comment?
No public comments at this time.
All right, moving right along to items from commissioners. Anything that's come up?
Yeah, one. I had discussed earlier, before the meeting with the secretary, how we now will be obtaining our agendas. Years ago, we were spoiled. The courier would deliver them to our door, and that was lovely. And the last 2 years, those who needed a hard copy would pick them up at the printer. So my understanding now, we have a choice of picking them at the printer, or to study our agenda online, and then a hard copy agenda will be here for all of us, or just for obviously all of us, right? Or for those
who request a hard copy.
all right. So I'm requesting always a hard copy. I think I'm going to pick it up at the printer, because I like to study for days, and it makes me work better. So I will pick it up a day or two before.
Chair, thank you. Echoing what Commissioner Maggio said, I'd like to get the printed agenda only when we have appeals. When there's no appeal, I don't need it. And I would also pick up at the printer. Thank you.
I would like to add that too. If it's an appeal, of course, we need to have that in order to make sure we study that correctly. Thank you.
Same. I'd like the hard copy as well. Thank you.
Fellow commissioners, any other comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, all right. That was the last item. We will move on to adjournment. This meeting is adjourned to the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission to be held on July 28th, 2022 in West Hollywood Park Public Meeting Room, Council Chambers. This meeting is adjourned.
We forgot to mention we all got our new ordinances and regulations. All right.
I feel like I jinxed you all. My first 2 meetings have been